Excuse me. Morning, people. How's everybody doing this morning? Fucking hell, this fucking throat of mine. I don't know what's going on. I can't seem to fix it. It is awful. So I've before we get started here, I've decided I'm going to add two pairs to kind of how we analyze and what we analyze. And I don't know that I'm going to trade them. If the setups sort of present, I will possibly do something. I'm sure once I kind of get in the swing of things with doing it, but the two pairs that I'm going to look to, well, not going to look to, but that I'm going to add are going to be GBP USD, and I'm also going to add gold. So I hope that's cool with everybody. I did go through US 30 as well. Just because they don't offer it on the forex.com feed, it's something that, maybe maybe it shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is for me, but ultimately I'm looking to just keep everything in one feed. I don't know if that's just like an OCD thing or whatever, but so we're going to be adding gold and we're going to be adding GU, and what we're going to start doing is getting a little bit heavier into how to set alerts properly, what levels we look to sort of trade from higher probability areas, just because we're going to start looking at a lot more potential trades. So that's just, something to kind of expect in the next little bit. So let's start with Old Faithful EU. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to, and I think what we'll do, depending on how busy the day is we're going to start to group in our case study building session with this. Depending, of course, whether or not something is setting up. If something's setting up, we're going to do a separate case study and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm sure anybody have guesses on what we're going to build a case study on today. Has to do with this right here that, of course, we got off the call. Yeah. There was a fucking beautiful trade involved right there. Now, this is technically, okay, and I want to say this technically, this is we're going to talk about it. That's what we're going to do. I'm not going to get too far in detail just yet. Let's go and look and see what's setting up. Are there any other requests for pairs that maybe we should I'm willing to put one more in here. Throw something in the comments. It's not going to be US 30. Like I said, it just doesn't get the data feed that I like. So AU is like so close. Anything that's paired with the US dollar, unfortunately, is going to move very similar to the rest of them. So it's like, I mean, like we could, but I think it's a waste to kind of, XAU we're already going through. I think I'm going to check out. So actually, a little backstory. When I was trading once upon a time using Fibonacci, key levels, we were actually using some liquidity concepts as well. I didn't really realize that's what it was at the time. But I was looking at GJ, and GJ was my favorite pair. So I think we're going to look at GJ as well. Let's check out GJ that way, because we have two that are pegged to Euro US, or sorry, to the US dollar. Actually, three of them are all pegged to US dollar. Let's get something a little bit outside the spectrum, and we'll just start looking at it. We'll start poking around. I'll probably hold a poll or something like that via Google form and see which ones we want to keep. And we'll kind of go from there. I want to get a little bit more life happening in the community. I know everybody really likes the idea of a quiet community, and there'll be really quiet channels. But I do want to have sort of like more of a community aspect where we are sharing a little bit more charts, and we're going to be going through not so much a rebranding or anything like that, but I want to get some life kind of coming back into the community, if that's fair with everybody else. So let's check out GBP JPY, and we'll add this guy. Once upon a time. This is exactly what I used to trade. Amazing. Oh, dang. GJ looks like it's ready to just fucking Go kabang, kabang, kabang. Cool. What we got here on the daily. It looks like, yeah, there's a big setup happening right now that we could potentially possibly get involved with. I like it a lot. GA's got a flip zone. Cool. We've just liquidated, come into something. Yeah, cool. I like that. Okay, before we do this, let's just go over to EU super quick and talk about this bad boy. um, yeah, there it is in all its glory. So we're coming down probably before we even see a reaction. It's going to be at least here, if we even see one, to be fair. Looks pretty tough to even consider that it's going to pull back at this point. But yeah, as we all know, things like this happen all the time. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're breaking through swing structure on the daily. So who fucking knows what's going to happen? But right now, like I said, if you got into shorts, like there's nothing available now. Okay, like if you didn't get involved with this, if like this is gone. This is gone. The next move for us, if you want to kind of recap on what it is that we're looking to play, where our 6 very high probability setups are. If you go over to Afonso, if you guys wouldn't mind, at some point this morning, even if it's during the live, you want to just dig through that forecasting call that I'd done a few weeks back about the pivots, where they kind of sit and stuff like that, and where the high probability moves sort of come from. If you guys, any of the coaches that are in here or the team members, and maybe we'll just share that with the just shoot me a message and I'll repost it on the announcements page, because you need to understand where the high probability areas are going to be in order to really set yourself up properly. And now that we're starting to diversify across a couple more pairs, I think is what we're going to look to do. You don't necessarily need to be forcing trades in here coming into this or whatever it is that you're looking to do. We can actually focus on the higher quality setups. And then we can actually be able to capitalize on these higher probability setups across a couple different pairs. And this kind of goes against everything that I stand for, I think, at this point with the simplicity scales. But now, instead of forcing, continuations or whatever, we can actually focus on these higher time frame pivots, which is going to be the even higher quality setups just spread across different pairs, right? So bottom line is, the gist of what I sort of talked about was we're going to have basically this, right? We're going to have that 15-minute order flow in here that we could have capitalized up into, in here, pushing up into here. Let's actually get the chart up, and I'll do it after. But yeah, we basically talked about jabbing into here, pushing into the flip, which we did. We basically saw aggressive move kind of coming down. Here was your next pivot point to potentially get involved to then liquidate this stuff. Boom, come down. I was actually expecting this to come down a little bit further before then liquidating this. But anyways, the long story short, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because this move is done, right? In the welcome series, and it was pretty much, yeah. And I mean, it's not about being spot on. It's like, well, I'm not trying to be a wizard and predict the market, because quite frankly, this could have not happened at all. But what I'm trying to illustrate, and the reason I kind of did that call, and the reason I was talking about all this stuff, is not to inflate my ego. It's to show you that if and when this sets up the way that we would expect it would, based on expectational order flow, you're going to have a really good idea of where these pivots should happen and how to get involved when they happen. That's the idea behind this, because right now, taking shorts like this, if this was a 1-minute chart, would you be looking to get involved here? Probably not. Is it likely that we're going to come back up here? Not in the foreseeable future, right? So you have to just, take a step back. And if you look at here, let me just show you what's kind of happening here. Let's go to the 1 hour. So if you look at this and you look at all of this liquidity that gets built up, boom, we come back up and sweep. after we've broken structure, we liquidate this high, right? And we come back into an unmitigated zone that was just above. If you look at now the 4 hour, okay, you kind of see that same thing. Now we've broken this low. We've now built liquidity. What do we have sitting up here? Unmitigated, right? So we could very well see a mitigation of this zone to create liquidity, mitigation of this zone to create liquidity, sweep all of these equal highs, sweep all of these equal highs, push up, and then drop down and break through swing, right? Just fractal, right? It's the same thing. It's just in relation to different time frames, right? So just kind of rambling here. Why do we not expect an reaction off the demand zone above, the one that you marked? Which one are you asking about? Sorry, this guy? Why do we not expect one here? So number 1 here or number 2? Okay, good question. So it's not, I just kind of removed this. It's not that we can't, but if you look at this right now, if you were trying to if you're putting a limit right now on a, like if you had to put a limit order somewhere, where would the first place be and where would the second place be? If this is a 1 minute chart right now. Be here, this would be number 1. Would you put one right here? To me, this is inducement for potentially the flip. Where's the next place you could possibly put a limit if this was a 1 minute chart? That'd be about the only spot, right? At extremes. So the flip, where did supply fail, right? If we're thinking about flips, a flip zone is a demand to supply or supply to demand, right? Where did supply fail? Supply failed here, right? Like at its core, the first level that sort of went for us was this supply region, right? Then we tapped in, no reaction. This actually has inducement, right? Boom, this is the only place I'm expecting to see some sort of a reaction, probably going to be a piss poor one. And then if and when we tap into this, we can start measuring this leg to see where we're going to actually come into to potentially then take higher time frame sells, right? Everybody with me? Drop a 1 if you're with me and a 2 if you have a question. $17, how many people in here? 28 people. Are you guys with me? Cool. Awesome. AJ, what's going on, brother? Yeah. So guess what? Is there, like, if we look at this chart right now, where would your first alert go right now in order for you to even start looking for a setup on EU? Okay. What will we call this? What should we call it? Somebody throw their mic on. Max, throw your mic on.
Yeah, I would just call it, we hit the demand zone and swap inducement, so we can look for a possible pullback longs.
Yeah. Higher time frame, H4 demand flip, right? Look for POI to be induced. Once induced, look for M15 shock. And where is it? Cool. And the reason I want to be a little bit more descriptive with my with my alerts is because you have to remember the reason why, and again, maybe this is just me, but the reason I set alerts is so that I can spend the least amount of time possible on screen, because if you guys are anything like me, which I'm sure most of you resonate with this on one level or another, if I'm on the screen, I'm going to find a fucking trade. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm hunting for a trade. Whether or not there's a good one available, 9 out of 10 times, if I'm staring at a screen, I'm literally looking as deeply as possible to be able to look for something, whether it fits the plan or not. That is my toxic trait. If I'm off the screen and I say, okay, we've mitigated the H4 demand flip. I know exactly where that is on EU. Look for POI to be induced. So what that means is I'm waiting for this, right? I want to see this first flip. I want to see this first one. We have nothing. Ideally, I want to see a mitigation. I want to see a drive down. And then we can start looking to take this against this liquidity, right? So once this actually happens, once we've induced this level, so we've tapped in, okay, once we get the initial reaction, we want to have our next alert sitting just below this low. Why? Because that would basically signal that we have a sweep, right? Now, there's a couple different ways we have to monitor this. We could either look at this as our 15-minute swing point right here, right? So if that's the case, in order for us to trade pro trend against the 4-hour leg, or our next alert, once we break this low, is right here, right? So we're going to put an alert, and it doesn't mean it's going to even get triggered, but we're going to put our alert here, and we're going to call this 15-minute swing high has been broken. Order flow has shifted. Look for liquidity to be able to take into extreme demand. Okay. And that's what we have to do. You have to be able to put it so that, like, if this gets triggered, the idea is that as soon as it triggers, we have now created a POI. So that POI now creates a new alert for us to start getting involved with the market, right? So we need to, and maybe I haven't talked about this enough, you know, in the last few months, but alerts are the best friends, right? Like this is, it keeps you off the charts. It doesn't make you look for things that aren't there. And then ultimately you're going to have, like I said, if you have, let's just kind of get rid of this stuff right here. Like I said, if we sort of tap in, we get the initial tap, we get a change of character, but we have nothing to target. This becomes inducement. When we come down like this, now we have our alert set right here. And then furthermore, once we start pushing up, we want to have an alert underneath this low as well, right? Why do we want an alert under the low? Well, it's really simple. We want to see what's going to end up happening. If we break the low, then we have a new alert to kind of put in, right? We also now have you know, a new POI down here that we're going to label up. So then we can start looking deeper and deeper and deeper in price, right? We don't want to be following this down. We can also start to look at potential sell criteria on the flip side of things and stay aligned with obviously what's happening, but we don't necessarily want to be taking sells this deep in price. So just a couple different options of how you would set this up to sort of play this higher time frame pullback. But ultimately, at this point, we don't know that this is going to hold. Likely, we could potentially see a you know, take on this low. Obviously, you guys have seen this on the weekly time frame. Like, we're trading from a weak level to begin with in terms of weekly demand, and I think that this was all used to generate liquidity to take out this low at some point. But yeah, just to give you an idea of how to set alerts, why we would set them, to understand how to play against higher time frame legs. If X happens, you know, QY. If Y happens, QZ, and all that kind of fun stuff. What else we got here? Yeah, so right now, I mean, technically, okay, we have I would say that this is the more valuable zone. We always want to have a level to take from the market, right? Otherwise, it's no fucking good, right? So you can see we got the buy to sell, right? That sits right in here. We have a point of liquidity to take from the market, get rid of the early, like, it doesn't even mean we're going to come up there. Like, it's not likely at this point, but you never know. You never know what could happen at this deeper demand area. So if that's the case, let's just jump down onto our lower time frame. Yeah, look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. Okay, unmitigated supply. It comes from an interaction zone at this low over here. Sorry, all the way over to the left. I'll go like this. Boom. Okay, we break through. So look how beautifully this POI is placed, right? It doesn't mean we're going to come up there, but if and when we start to pull back, okay, Obviously, we want to see people starting to get involved right here, right? Ideally, okay, we get inducement, we sweep up, we take all this liquidity. This is a great area. So also mark this out, and don't be afraid to flip through. Like, I know we talk about the 15 lots, we talk about the 4 hour, flip to the 30, look at what's going on, look at the 1 hour. Okay, look at how clear the 1 hour is. Beautiful, beautiful inside bar, resting right above liquidity. So what I would do here, I would also set an alert in and around this level. Oops, probably right here. And the reason why is I would set it to watch how it gets induced. I would say M15 swing, 15 swing high. Oh, watch for POY to get induced into POY that rests above. That's it. Then you walk away. Like, that's how you would trade criteria. Right now, if we came up into here like this, is there a valid trade right now? The answer should be no, right? The reason why is because we have nothing to take from the market. In order to fuel a move, right? In order for the move to want to move this way, we need to take liquidity somewhere, right? So just remember all of these things so that we can essentially stay aligned with our trade plan. So yeah, in terms of EU, there's not a whole lot that we're going to be probably looking at today, which is totally cool. We'll just let this thing do its thing. So let's go out to 4 hour. Same thing here. GU right now, right? Are we going to come up here? Not necessarily, but at some point, you can bet your ass that we will, right? Where does the high probability trade come from? Well, right now, if we break this right here, okay, let's say we come down like this, how many people are trading here? You know, smart money trap is what they call this, right? How many fucking people? Everybody you fucking know, probably. Every single person. Well, it's structure. Well, no, it's not. Structure is highest and lowest points, right? Always highest and lowest points. That's an internal structure point. But if you look at this and we break down like this and we start to whatever, okay, you can already see my alert's set, right? Come up into here, probably taper down, boom, sweep, liquidity to take. Okay. High probability area, unmitigated extreme. These are the ones we wanted to look at, right? Lots of good trades setting up for next week. Say you. Anybody guess? Order flow is, to me, order flow has already, yeah, I'm looking more like in this extreme and getting down on more of like an intraday play. If you look at the 15, do you ever get tempted to take trades on any other pair? No. And quite frankly, the only reason why is because, you know what, if I take 3 good trades per month, again, I don't want to sit here and like talk numbers, but I can make enough money to pay my yearly salary as an electrician. So I don't get tempted to trade other pairs based on the fact that EU provides setups. It provides 2 or 3 fucking banger setups per month. And as long as I can focus on these bigger moves, it's inevitable. I don't even need to bother with other pairs. The only reason I'm introducing a couple new pairs is so that teaching wise, and for you guys as members, you'll be able to build case studies around a couple of different pieces of price, whether or not, depending on how much you want to actually work and get involved, right? So do I get tempted? Maybe before a little bit, but yeah, never anymore. There's yeah, EU provides, it doesn't matter what pair you want to trade, GA, you want to trade BTC, ETH, whatever it is that you like to trade. Trading is about patience. gone are the days of like, day trading has to be intraday. You need to be taking trades every single day, blah, blah, blah. That's couldn't be further from the truth. Day trading is, that like the new wave of day trading is more set an alert, and you'll trade intraday when your setup is there. We're not forcing setups. You know what I mean? Because day traders, you know what they do? Can speak from experience. They're looking at this. They're looking to play this little reaction off of here, right? They're just going like this. Oops, that's a bad line. They're looking for that first 1 minute chalk. Boom, they want to play this against this leg, and they'll just get smoked, right? Because they want to scalp their way through. And it's just a toxic habit because you're not actually operating with the market. You're actually just operating on hopium. You're sitting there crossing your fingers, hoping a level is going to give a reaction. When did they switch CPI news for Friday, coming up in a bit over 30 mins? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I thought CPI was always Friday, wasn't it? With the RR your strategy provides, I'm good before. Yeah, honestly, one good trade per month. If you would have just had focus on CPI, I think CPI is, I can't remember. No, you're right. I think, no, it was Friday. It is Fridays. I remember it is Fridays. Anyways, so in 30 minutes, just be wary of that, ladies and gents. So this was more of a intraday play. Like the bigger play on gold will happen probably from here at some point, right? You can just see all of this liquidity sort of starting. So right now, if we don't take out this low, okay, if we do not take out this low, the area that I would look to trade from would be here. If we, and I'll just kind of talk about this a little bit more in detail. Let's go to 1 hour. Okay, so if we end up taking out this low right here, can we trade from here? Anybody? I'm going to say we can look. If the low, if the low is not taken, I would trade from here. If the low gets taken, I would only trade from here. If that makes sense. We want to be able to see, this high is essentially the high that takes out the low at the extreme, right? Whereas right now, this break of structure happens from up here. This is above liquidity. There's POY here. There's POY here. Flip, extreme, right? Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit more. So this is probably like a, let's see, 4 hour. Okay. Oops. Let's go 4. Okay, excuse me. Holy mackerel. Okay, so right now we're breaking sub, right? This is swing. Substructure break. Usually, if we don't break the swing, we'll match substructure high, right? If we break swing, what's the strong level? It's not going to be this internal structure. It's going to be swing structure, right? Does that make sense? That's probably the easiest way I can explain it. Drop a 1 if you get what I'm saying, and 2 if you have a question. Cool. Do you guys look at the market this way, or is this something that's kind of like a new concept? Okay, cool. We, that's, and so your trade idea would wrap around this too, right? So the theory with how this sort of works would be like, if we came back up into here right now, our target would probably be something along the lines of this, okay? Now, if we broke down like this, reacted to this, and then came up into here, now we could target here. Same exact setup, spread across a different time frame. Swing will match swings, subs will match subs. So intraday stuff is fine to play from internal structure points, depending on what breaks. But if this level breaks like this, and you trade from here, this is going to get ran as liquidity for the higher time frame move, right? This is the sweep we're at. Sweep here, sweep here. Look at the similarities between all of this, right? So there's nothing unique about what happens. If you look, we have a take on liquidity here, right? If you look, we have a take on liquidity here, right? We liquidate, we liquidate. It's all the same. Everything that happens in reversal patterns is the same. It's fractal in that depending on what the market wants to do for its pullback. How am I going to explain this? It's going to be in relation to what structural level you're referencing. So let's trace this out really quick. Okay, we push up, we come down, and then we liquidate. Boom. So if we look right here, we push up, we push down, we liquidate, and then we break down. This exact same thing is happening right here. It's the same exact schematic, if that makes sense. And I hope people are resonating with this. So the high probability areas are going to be, and like this is pattern recognition too, right? You have to understand that what we're looking at right here, okay, there's reference points, because structure is really what the reference points are in the market. It's the blueprint, right? It's okay. We got hedge funds in Asia that set, let's say, a high right here. Okay, how do they set a high? Well, they need to push price there. They need to have a waypoint. They need to have something that they can reference. They usually leave it unmitigated, right? So what does that mean for us? Well, it means that, okay, if they end up taking out this low, the idea is that now New York says, okay, well, we know that we've already taken this low. We've now generated liquidity down here. Let's push price up to here so that we can get the rest of the orders so that people trade from here to provide liquidity for our move to mitigate out. It's all the same, right? It's just in relation to timeframes is how you're going to be able to profit take. So again, if you've never watched my premium and discount foundation series video, I talk a lot about where we're sitting in price, how it relates to the time frame in which we're mapping structure, and how you can get involved. So let me actually just pull this up really quick, because it's a really good piece to sort of look at. Everybody, by the way, oops, Jesus, 1 or 2. Everybody with me for 1, 2 if you've got a question. Use your time frames. If you use a lower time frame, the bottom line with it is that if you're using a 15-minute time frame to be able to set up your trade, you should have a 15-minute target. No worries, Kim, we'll see you. If you have a 4-hour trade setup, you can target 4-hour levels. If you have a daily setup, if you look at this right now, let's really blow your mind. Okay, if you look at this right now, we break this low. Where's the liquidity to take? It's across here. Where are we going into? Probably this level. It's the same thing. There's nothing different. Anyways, and rant. I'm not actually going to. It's the same shit, right? It's all the same, man. I'm not going to go back and show you every single one. Go and check it out. Watch it. Like, trading a continuation, in my opinion, is the highest risk trade to take. And it seems like it is the best one, but how often on a continuation do you get swept from your POI by like 2 or 3 pips and you're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden it drops, right? Well, it's because your setup is not in relation to the appropriate time frame. It's so easy to get lost on lower time frame, and you don't even realize. Look at this POI resting right above here, right? So when this daily low goes, okay, we have 2 areas that we can trade from. We can potentially look at this daily high, or we could potentially even look a little bit higher to sweep this, very similar to what we saw in EU, and then drop, right? Imagine all the liquidity resting above here to then push price lower. Anyways, I'm not going to show you guys the premium and discount. I'm not going to bring that up and reshare my screen and all that stupid stuff. So in the welcome series, there's a PDF on premium and discount. Essentially looks like this. And then there's a bunch of different swing points in here. Okay, there's I believe there's like a sweep like this to kind of show you. Go check it out, because it, like, that whole theory is broken down within that actual PDF, as well as that foundational video series. What else we got? Yeah, so for gold, I've got my POI set right here. I've got basically all of my stuff set right here for what I need to look for. Boom, walk away. It's done. GBP JPY. Let's have a look at this. Okay. So right now, what we want to see is, obviously we can't bank on the fact that, what's going on, Dave? Obviously we can't bank on you know, price coming back up here. It could. If it does, this would be a fantastic trade. But the ideal trade, what it would look like for me would be, I want to see something sweep. Okay, I want to see, like, we would never trade from this level, right? We want to see some form of a take until it takes liquidity somewhere. That's the POI it's going to create, right? That's the one we want to be trading from. But you got to wait for these to set up, right? And this is a beautiful continuation, but more often than not, what ends up happening is people will trade here, they'll get a good reaction, okay? And they'll think, well, this is the trade of my fucking life. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to swing for the fences on it. And then all of a sudden it's going to come back up from here, okay? And it's going to sweep, right? It's going to take liquidity from somewhere. Now that same person is going to say, oh, well, we're reacting to demand, but demand's already failed, right? We already know from a higher time frame what we're looking at. So what's going to end up happening is, once we take liquidity, this is where we're starting to get enticed into the market, right? We want to see this induced. Boom, we take this and we know that these lows will be weak. Why are they weak? Because in order for this to be a strong low in bearish order flow, we need to see swing structure get taken. If it doesn't get taken, it's very simple. What's going to end up happening is we're going to get crushed and we're going to end up moving this way. So GJ is an interesting one right now. There is a very high time frame sell that could potentially start to frame up for us. I would say that reasonably, we should start to see something along the lines of a push up at some point. Ideally, we're going to want to see a reaction here. We were going to want to see a failed low. And then we're going to want to see this high get taken, push higher, inducement, maybe not this high up, get this swept, and then start to look for criteria to then come into all of the liquidity that's been printed. But you can see from here to here, how long is this? 4 days? If it took that long, it might be 2 days. But you, like, the idea is spend less time on the charts, and when this sets up, you can hold full volume into weak lows. You don't have to fucking worry about taking a partial at the next 15-minute demand. You know, we come up into here, whatever, we get our chalk, everything works. You don't have to partial at this low. You can partial beyond this low at the next area where we're going to expect a reaction. So now you can take this from here all the way to here without even hesitating, because this should just drop. Cool. It's gonna be a bit boring. We're gonna be watching some paint dry today. So question, if we want to see a sweep, where do you think our first area that we should actually map a oh my god, what do we call this, alert, should go? Bingo. Because in order for us to get involved, we need to, the first thing we need to see is somebody. We need to see a take on liquidity, right? We want to be able, so in order for us to create a POI, do any of these take liquidity? No, right? So if we need a POI to trade from, so let me pull up my POI flow chart right here. The only one that takes liquidity is here. Agreed? So that's not like a take. You know what I mean? Like, this is all equals. This is a very small take, but like, we've just broken this, right? So what's the strong level to trade from? Here to here, right? There's a lower time frame take. Not the time frame we're interested in. That's right. We're looking to see, we want to see a sweep, right? So the first level, in order for us to see a sweep to get broken, would be this level. We want to see this get swept to some degree. Why do we want to see that? We're already in bearish order flow, right? Like we're not coming after these highs. I mean, I'm sure everybody fucking knows that and can see that. So if we get a sweep and we break above, then we can start looking at how this starts to map, right? We want to see a poor delivery away. We want to see a sweep of this, break down. Because unless we have a sweep or we're trading from a sweep, we don't have a trade idea. So the only area that we have a sweep from that's relevant is right here, right? Until we create a new one. Make sense? Beautiful trade setup coming up with this, but we got to be patient, right? So I would have an alert set right here. We're going to do it. And yes, Dave, we are doing some watch lists. We're actually going to follow 4 pairs. Yeah, just to kind of watch how things happen. A couple more higher probability setups. So this would be first M15 internal break. Trigger sweep for potential save. Isn't the last high on the M15 also a flip zone? Is that not relevant in this case? Which one? So if we've just broken the low, where do you see a flip? That's not a flip. This happens after. You guys are just being impatient here. What is this? What does this do? Right? If we've just broken, okay, let me ask you this. Where's our swing points right now on the 15? Swing points, not internal points. There you go. Our swing levels are here and here, correct? Who's got their POI flowchart out? Throw a 1 in the comments right now. Maddie, get on the mic.
G'day, g'day.
Morning, sir. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to get rid of some drawings.
Which one you want, top down or the 15?
I want the POI one.
Fair enough.
You got that?
I do.
What's it say? Let's read it top down.
POI mapping H4 down to M1.
Okay.
POI must break structure.
Okay. Hold on.
Must.
Hold on. Okay. So right now, let's just start with this 15-minute boss. Okay. Structure, we have agreed, correct? That this is swing high. This is swing low, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We've broken structure. So POI must break structure. We have unmitigated POI. Okay. So that's good. We have a break of structure. That's the start. What's the next thing it says?
Must take opposing liquidity.
Okay. Which POIs here take opposing liquidity? Are there any?
Probably this one way up here, but you said you didn't think we were getting back up there, as I recall.
Well, it's the only thing we have right now, correct?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
There's nothing else that like we can even look at. This is not a break. These are like, this is a very small one on maybe a 1 minute by like a pipette. I don't look at that as like a sweep of liquidity. Okay. So that's good. What's next?
POI must be in the premium or discount.
Okay.
In our case, premium.
Yeah. So if we were to map out something like this.
Yeah, you're probably even in the top 25, really.
We're in the top 25. So everybody that was looking right here, you included, Matt.
Oh, I didn't want to trade from there. I was just looking.
you're
at
just
where there
looking,
was some
okay,
sort of a
gotcha.
edge.
So what, anybody who was looking here, looking here, looking here, what are you looking at, right? If we break down lower, okay, then we can maybe start looking at maybe these zones, possibly. But right now, the way that structure is sitting, the only levels we can trade from would be here and higher. Cool.
Cool.
What's next?
POI should come from a buy to sell or sell to buy that fully is engulfed by the next candle.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gucci. Okay,
Must build liquidity before the POI.
okay,
Go team. Better known as inducement, typically shown. Okay. Yeah, the rest of it is kind of just, I don't know if they're really steps.
yeah,
POIs
it's just reminders.
Yeah.
Read them out anyways.
All right. Better known as a level to be induced or swept, typically shown as equal highs and equal lows or built up mitigations. We've got a little bit of everything. POIs can be found at supply demand and demand supply flip zones as well as extremes.
Cool.
Only refer to the top-down flow chart when POI criteria is met.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. So just again, just a little refresher for, thanks, Maddie. We're good now. But I just want everybody to realize that chasing this is not how our plan works. That's not how we trade. We trade once there's a break of structure, right? Once we have a break of structure, this creates, in theory, a strong level to trade from, right? So once we have that strong level, even if we don't tap into this, okay, what ends up happening now is as long as we come into this premium area, right? So let's say we come in like this, we sweep into something along the lines of this, okay? And then we break down. Well, the idea is that now, depending on how this builds, if we go something like this, and now we have a level to induce into here, this comes from a sweep, levels to take, you use the POI flowchart again, fractally again, and this is our trade level. That's it, right? It's the same fucking thing. Or the other alternative is that we, here's all this, we end up coming directly into here, right? And then we can look. Why? Because we had levels. If we come in here with a big bullish candle and we really don't have any kind of slowdown, we just come directly in here, we can still trade this. Why? Because we had liquidity to take into the POI. We don't have to worry about it. Liquidity is built all the way across here. Go ahead, Matt.
If you end up in like, let's say we end up in like here,
Yep.
in the extreme very end of it in a refinement, this is one of those areas where you don't need the 15-minute order flow shift, because if it goes past here, we're in whole new territory. Correct?
That's right.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So that's that. Any everybody with me on this and understand how we can frame up a trade idea in here, how to set the alerts properly to be able to understand how to spend less time on the charts, to be able to have just high quality setups present themselves? Screen time fucks with you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get away from, honestly, my best trades come from alerts. I'm noticing that more and more. I'm not trying to get involved in trades that I'm just glued to the charts, because 9 out of 10 times I need to have a purpose on the chart to be able to get into a high probability setup. Cool. This should hurt what I'm saying. I'm sure it probably hurts a lot of people on some sort of a level. Primarily the guys and gals that spend too much time on the charts and look for trades. They're literally forcing out trades. You know, whether it be, and again, I'm not speaking to anybody directly, I'm speaking to the group. you got some additional pressure because, maybe you're a couple percent down on a funding challenge, or whatever it is. There's some skin in the game now, and you feel like you got to hack something out, right? You have to be in a trade, right? And that's like, the beauty and the beast of the market is that we often just feel like in order to be a trader, you have to be on this, you got to be taking trades. And like, people, like, there's a famous saying that, no trade is a trade. And it's, man, take some time for yourself, go enjoy what the fuck you're doing. Cause I'm telling you, these set up every time. There's always a setup. There's always a really big setup that's in play that's 40, 50, 80, 100R. Fuck, go enjoy your goddamn life, man. Just wait for it to set up. Big fucking deal. Like, it's incredible how much people want to force a trade that doesn't exist, that doesn't correlate with the plan, right? Yeah, and you know what, Dave, you kind of hit it on the head, man. Like, it's very, like, from a teaching, yeah, from a teaching standpoint, it's a lot easier to focus on one pair. It's a lot easier to kind of build things slower. But I think everybody's at a level now where they're starting to really understand how the strategy operates. And I think, looking at a few different pairs will alleviate some of that FOMO pressure that a lot of people are feeling. It's going to take some time to kind of adjust, but yeah. Anyways, I've been forcing shit on EU when there's been nothing there. That's fair. Yeah, what I would suggest to all of you guys too is go back and rewatch. And Alfonso, I hope you guys found that video. If you didn't, if you wouldn't mind checking for that for me after. It's just the one that I'd sort of done on, what do you call it? Kind of like the 6 high probability points within the most recent EU price, when we kind of did that forecasting call, and it played out relatively well, not to a T by any means, but when you understand where these higher time frame pivots in theory will happen, you know where to sit on your hands. Like, if you look at EU right now and you think that there's a trade setting up in the next fucking couple days, to be honest with you, if you're looking to trade this back counter against this, you're out of your fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, you gotta let things develop, man. You gotta let them develop. They gotta be reacting to something relevant. We need order flow to kick in. We need to confirm that these lows are in fact going to be temporarily strong to work against the higher time frame. You know what I mean? So don't put yourself in a fucking position where you're just trying to, like, you're phase 2 or whatever it is, and you got 2% left, and I'm just going to scalp my way through here, and whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to do, and now you get smoked, and now you're trying to go long, and now you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Man, set an alert. That's it. If it means you got to redo your fucking challenge and you're 2% in profit or whatever it is, who fucking cares? You're looking to get rich overnight, and you're in the wrong industry. It's not how it works. Question, if you don't mind me using my mic. Joe, go ahead.
I think it was the JBP, JPY. We're just in there right now. Yes. Okay, so you just said, okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. You said that that's the only POI that we had that took liquidity or that can take liquidity. I'm not sure I caught what you said.
Okay, so right now, if we were to look at swing point A, swing point B, right?
Okay, yeah.
Premium starts here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any POI other than this one that takes liquidity right now? I'm not talking by a pip. I'm talking about something that induces people. Would you agree that this is the only one?
Okay, that makes sense. I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Now, in the case that we come up like this, okay, we have this, and then we sweep up into something like this, okay, and then we break down. There's a strong level to trade from somewhere in here then, because now this takes liquidity, it induces break structure, And now we can start playing this into lower lows.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
You can't assume that this is going to happen. We can be skeptical of, or think that there's a possibility and kind of forecast that if this happens, I know how to play it. But right now we have no data suggesting that. So the only area that we could trade from would be here.
Okay, and when you say took liquidity, you mean from the candle that were on the left, right? I just want to make sure I'm getting that.
This one. See it?
Yeah. Okay.
Boom, sweeps, takes out equals, comes into the extreme, creates, how many people looking to trade demand here? Right? Boom, it's done. Order flow is shifted. Order flow shifted here. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Got you.
Buddy. Mint funding is really good for that because they don't have a time limit. Yeah. I don't really know much about them. I've actually heard quite a few good things. They have a super customizable challenge from what I understand. You can actually pick and choose your rules, and based off of how your rule set is placed, you pay X amount of dollars higher or lower depending on how many rules you eliminate. It's pretty interesting. I don't know that I would personally get funded with them. I think honestly, one of the best funding firms that's available right now, if you want to not have to worry about like, so hear me out. I'm going to explain why, and then I'll tell you the funding company. There's two of them that I really like. And if they were around when I got funded, I probably would have done this. So more often than not, what happens for us is one trade and that'll pass your entire funding, right? So when you have that in the back burner and you don't necessarily have a time limit and you don't have to wait in between your trade setups and all that kind of stuff, and you have no minimum trading days, it's a lot easier to say, I'm just going to wait for my setup. When it comes here, I know that I can just pull trigger and we'll be good, right? We know where the pivot point is going to be. So the first one I'm going to say is going to be True Forex funds. Okay. This is my number two. My number one right now is E8. No minimum trading days, $250,000 account. The only shitty part with E8, now hear me out. The only shitty part about E8 funding is that they only have an 8% overall drawdown rule. In theory, if you traded across all these pairs and you waited for higher time frame pivot points, do you think you would ever come close to an 8% drawdown if you traded your fucking rules? The difference between 8 and 10%, if that's detrimental to your success in the market, you're not ready for funding.
Ty, if you with E8 funding, if you pass there, so you've got your account and then you get 1 month where you do 16%, they actually move that up to 14%, the 8%.
That's right. I just got funded with them yesterday, actually, just to see how the payout process works. I want to make sure that they're half decent, and then I'm actually going to get involved with an affiliate program with them to basically offer it to you guys so that we can get a cheaper rate, just like what Phantom did.
Which account did you go with them? Because I've got that other account where you can continuously scale up.
Yeah, I just did the basic challenge one. It's a 250K, like their highest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you exactly what it is. What is this called? E8 funded funding center.
It's called the Eleve or something like that.
Yeah, Elevate. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just their flagship one. Now they have that scaling plan. Is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's 100,000, and then I think you have to make 16% every month, and then they scale it up 100,000 to $1 million.
Gotcha. And did you get funded with them?
No, I was just checking them out and
Gotcha.
Just seeing what's there.
Gotcha.
What are their spreads like? Because they told me that EU is like 0.3. They sent me a whole list. Is that right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay.
It's 0.3, and their commissions, I believe, are $5 round trip. EU hit alert.
That's a bit expensive on commissions, but I mean, we don't trade that often, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's like EU hit alert. What do we hit here? Oh, there's news. Yeah, that's why things are moving. Yeah, don't get all fucking trigger happy just because there's fucking movement in the market. Just chill out. You know what I mean? Like, let's trade alongside order flow here. Yeah, $5 round trip is not that bad. So they used to. I've been talking back and forth with Dylan, I think is his name. He's the CEO, and I think a bunch of them, a bunch of people were reaching out to him because originally they had a setup where it was 0 comms, 0.7 spreads, which in smart money, if you're utilizing lower timeframes effectively, like it's just not. It's not like it's technically cheaper comms wise, but the idea of having that tighter spread, like I mean 0.3 across the board, and it's like solid at 0.3, that's what FTMO is. That's what MFF, like MFF says that there's zero spread. I'll tell you right now, the erratic spreads on MFF are arguably the worst feature that they have. At least with E8, what I noticed through all of my challenge phase was it says 0.3, it's 0.3 for the whole session. If you're trying to get involved during London or New York, fuck man, it's flatlined at 0.3. You never have to worry about it.
That's what you want, that consistency, because then you can factor it in.
Yeah, and I found with like MFF, I was noticing like I would see spikes at 0.5 sometimes, and then at the beginning, like look like framing out the trade idea, it's at 0.1. But I find it's very erratic, and it's you want to be able to capitalize on something that is a lot more consistent, and that's like personally what I like to see. FTMO is definitely the so don't let me discredit FTMO is the way to go. Okay, but if you want an alternate option with a little bit more favorable rules, getting funded a little bit quicker, potentially, using, the one-day trading to your advantage, it might be another option. And I mentioned it before, so it's just something to go look at. They've built up a pretty good reputation. I saw that Phantom had partnered with them as well. I'm going to look to do something similar with them to be able to get, like I said, some discounts and stuff like that. It seems great. And their interface is fucking fantastic. It's absolutely amazing to use. I'll let you know once I get my first payout, see how that goes. I believe they use Deal as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll jump on a live call with the community to kind of show you guys how that all works and make sure that they are legit. And we'll go from there. 5% rule on equity is discouraging. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I honestly don't know about MFF with everything else that's available. Yeah. MFF was like, so they kind of like came on the market too. And I think the main thing that sort of entice people into getting on with them was because nobody was really head-to-head challenge with FTMO, and they came in with cheaper challenges as well as more favorable drawdown rules, which is like if you're favoring drawdown rules over over other things, you're setting yourself up for failure, because in all fairness, you should never be at a point if you're risking 0.5% per trade and you lose 10 consecutive trades, you don't know how to use your edge. I'm sorry. And I'm sure that pinches for some people. The problem is not the drawdown rules. It's you're not ready to get funded. You don't have it in you it's literally, and people just don't understand that 12% rule. People who go 5% in drawdown, like you're not ready. People who like, if you cannot be consistently profitable for 4 consecutive weeks, dude, you're not ready. You're like, I'm sorry. And I know that's like, that might hurt for some people listening to this, but like, you need to be realistic. These funding challenges, these funding firms, they're not designed for you to make money. They like, it's perfect example. Anybody funded with the FTMO, they don't even use live servers. Most of them don't. They claim like, and they'll flat out tell you don't trade, like you trade a demo account. You literally trade a demo account for them. And I messaged their support when I first got funded. I said, hey, like I don't actually have a live account. Is there a reason for that? They said, yeah, it's like linked up to our account, or is what they say. But you actually don't trade. They just pay out based off of your demo results. So yeah, I think, well, I'm sure all of you guys have seen the stats too for MFF. Like, yeah, 3% of people, I think is what it is, actually get funded. And of that 3%, there's like 3% of people that make it to their first or their third payout. So man, it's it's a carrot dangled in front of your nose. Like that's all it is. Can you make money? Of course you can, but you need to stay aligned with your rules. You can clean house, I'm telling you. Anyways, we'll end that fucking rant there. So what do we got here? Supposedly the only copy if you have months of consistency on their live account. Yeah, I'm not sure how all that works. So good topic. We'll talk about funding a little bit further, actually. I've said this before too. The idea with funding, is you don't want to be a funded trader forever. Okay, you want to be a funded trader for ideally 3 to 6 months. The rules are technically, yeah, you can have bad weeks where you go X amount and draw down, whatever it is. It does happen. Like it is trading. There's obviously an emotional aspect to it. The reason why you should be going for funding is to be able to get your own account. You don't because the added pressure of you want to scale. Now you can scale up your funded accounts and link them up if you want to, and then risk less per trade, risk like, a 0.2% across 600K in funding, which would be the equivalent of whatever that would be with 200. Just over 1% on 200, I think is what that math would be. But like, get your own account. Get your own fucking account, man. Don't work for somebody else. Maybe that's just my way of looking at things, but yeah, you should get funded to basically acquire capital, to be self-sustaining. Keep all your profits. There's no rules. There's less pressure. There's just so much less pressure, in my opinion. Say you. Oops. So POI here. And we'll see how it reacts, if and when it does. Yeah, you don't have to force shit. There's like no time window for looking at yeah, like I have to get this trade or I'm fucked or whatever it is, right? Like you trade when setups present, right? It's a lot less stressful. How many people in this chat right now or in this Zoom call while news is happening right now, your old self, maybe even still now, you'd be looking to just pull a trigger on something? Only one person? Nick, good man. So follow-up question. Have we found Zen since being with this community and just having these higher time frame probability setups that we wait for? That's all we try to do here, man. That's all we've been trying to do. We're not trying to rush into shit. Yeah, man, chill out. Fuck, there's no rush. What are we rushing for? You got shit to do or what? Chill. Let the POIs get hit. Even this, like, I'm not just going to trade from here. We need to see what's going to happen at this zone. Like, if we look at this now, let's actually zoom out. Like, we could, now we've broken. Remember what we talked about? What did we say here? If we break this, is this a strong level? No, it's not. The idea is that this level is now the area that we could trade from, would be above these regions, right? We're going to see slowdown, likely at those levels. But we're going to want to see, we need a level of liquidity to take, right? Where's the level of liquidity that we need to take? Well, these are relatively equal highs, right? In relation to this sweep. Same shit. We're going to be looking, well, now that we've broken here, right? I need look like I'll still monitor in here. Let's go down to a 15. I will still monitor in this region at this level, right? I will also monitor at this level right here, sort of in these extremes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then furthermore, we could go above here, right? And then we could go a little bit higher as well. So those are the 3 levels I'd be really looking to potentially see what happens. Yeah, well, I mean, we've broken down, right? Like, look at, what are we reacting to here? Really nothing, right? So let's go like this. So our POIs tick the boxes. This is on gold, by the way, guys. For us people, for US people, once you get enough funds, I remember Blackwatch saying he bought a property in the Caribbean so he can have a good broker. Yeah. You could also do something, get an address in Dubai. I know that's kind of pricey, but there's all kinds of ways that you can kind of maneuver around also for taxation, right? If I'm not mistaken, there's no tax laws in Dubai for trading, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's all kinds of different ways that you can kind of maneuver around to be able to really do the right thing for trading in terms of like, yeah, maximizing profits. Yeah, no taxes at all in Dubai. That's what happens when you're killing the game with fucking oil. I think Malta is another great one. How do my Canadian brethren claim funded profits? Cap gains only tax 50%. Always wondered if you can claim funded profits as cap gains. So no, you can't. Well, okay, there are ways that you can. It's going to depend on whether or not it's your primary source of income. Like obviously, like if you work full-time or even part-time, you can actually claim it as capital gains. Otherwise, you have to claim it as like actual income tax, right? So yeah, if it's primary source of income and you can't prove any other primary source, then you're going to pay just regular income tax on it, depending on how you're set up. If you're set up as a corp, and you're a corporation, then you can obviously dabble with a couple different ways for taxation. But yeah, if you're just a sole proprietor or just somebody that's not even owning a business, you're just self-contracted, you're going to just pay regular income tax. Does it make sense to set up an LT? So I got a question for you guys. Should we do some sort of a video lesson on the different ways to either incorporate, go as a sole proprietor, and I'll kind of we'll get a bunch of information together and we can do a presentation on it maybe. Cool. Yeah, I'll look into doing that for everybody so that we can. Now you have to keep in mind too that like we can't do it for every country. Every country is going to have a little bit of different rules. So obviously ours is going to probably, like Dave and I both live in Canada. So maybe what we'll do is we'll get a presentation together for the Canadian guys. Yeah, we're all going to Dubai. Fuck it. Who lives in Dubai here? I hope you got like 130 beds. We're coming, or at least we're going to get registered mail sitting there. So what I'm actually going to get people to do, yeah, I'll get a hold of the team members. I'll talk to Dana. I'll talk to the Alfonsos, and maybe what we'll do is we'll set up a little bit of, yeah, maybe just like a spreadsheet of different things that that happen in specific areas. Oh, Asba, you're in Toronto. That's sick. I'm not far from you. Well, not far. It's a 4-hour drive, but that's pretty close in Canada. Awesome. We were just in Toronto last Tuesday. I think Asba was in Dubai before that. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we'll get something together in the next. We're got a lot of stuff moving in the background right now for the members and stuff. We're gonna have a whole new members portal. Yeah, we just got lots of stuff going on. So I'll look into getting some of the stuff together for at least the Canadian guys, and yeah, I'll see if anybody else has some info on the countries that they're in terms of like taxation and stuff and how corps work. But yeah, get something out there, or at least we'll find some resources for you guys as well to be able to understand the benefits of each. If you guys don't have a financial planner, it would definitely be something I would look to do. I believe most banks provide one for free. So it's always worth kind of jumping into your, wherever you bank and just say like, hey, I'm trading full time. Here's, what I'm making now, if at all anything. What would you advise on me doing and to be able to, optimize my taxation, right? These guys know best, and they're everywhere, right? Just tell them your circumstances. It doesn't matter if you're a trader or if you're, a carpenter. Money coming in is money coming in, and how you set up your business to be able to pay yourself as well as pay taxes. Yeah, it's not really going to differ from one to another. So I would suggest anybody who's never sat in with like a financial planner, I would say that is probably going to be the most beneficial thing for you. But like I said, we'll get some stuff together for at least the Canadian guys, because I know how it works here, and go from there. Question about this PA again. Okay, go ahead, John.
Just real quick, my head is spinning. Can you zoom out just a ways? Yeah, there we go. That's good. This is just making me reconsider kind of like even how to take partials, because as we're seeing, oh, sorry, I'm not annotating. So like, as we're seeing what's happening now, there's a bunch of people trying to sell here, right?
Yep.
And maybe maybe it does give a reaction and they take their 1 to 4 partial, or they get a 1 to 10 or something like that, right?
Yep.
And then they get smoked, right?
Yeah.
So they made money, and then so they, in their mind, their rules work, and that's how they're trading, right?
Right.
But if you're trading from, let's just say up here for the heck of it.
Yep.
And this is just one of those things where I've been trying to understand how you take your partials and stuff like that. And if you're taking a trade from here, and it runs, like, you really don't have to take a partial until, let's just say there was some, something in here, you could take your partial here.
Yeah.
Instead of having to take like a 1 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
We always take our first partial at the first liquid region, right?
Yeah. And I'm still hung up on the Phantom thing where they like to take, 25% off at 1 to 4 or something like that.
So I'm going to say,
And so,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just like I'm going to say something about like Phantom. Okay, love those guys, and like I don't want to like discredit anything they do. Everything I've learned is obviously from them in terms of smart money. They're kind of like the goat for me. But what happens is when you have 2,500 eyes sitting on you, it is very hard to like personalize how we get involved with management. Whereas when we have a smaller manageable group, we can actually get into the nitty gritty of like, can you imagine explaining target liquid regions on a Zoom call to 2,500 heads that are trying to ask questions about, well, where is that and why are you using this instead of this? Whereas with something like this, we can actually, like, a lot of these guys, they're just saying target 1 to 4 because it's the easiest way to get your risk off, right? Whereas, something like this, we come down like this, we sweep up, first liquid region is going to be here. Boom. So this might be a 1 to 15. That's your 25% partial. Stop loss comes open, come back up, look for scale, right?
Boom. Yeah.
Because now the profits that you've taken here fund the scale, right?
Yep. And the other thing I was Thank you. And then
Yeah.
the last thing I was gonna say, is, so now that, is this what we were looking at that broke just now?
Yeah,
Or no, this, yeah. So we've broken through, and so normally what I would be doing before today is forcing a trade in here,
this is
For
all,
sure.
this is likely all gonna get ran,
right?
right?
Because, but in my mind, like, since, okay, I see what you're saying now, never mind, all right. Yeah, so I'd still be looking at this probably.
Yep. Because you forget to look
I
left.
mean, and it's, even if I was looking at this, I'd probably still be saying like, this caused it. Sorry, I'm not drawing, but yeah, I'm pointing at it on the drawing. Yeah, I would still be saying like, I'd be thinking of that having caused it.
Gotcha. Let's go out to the 1 hour, just a little bit cleaner. Where's swing structure?
Yep.
Okay, that broke, right?
Yep.
So where's the new one?
So you just really, because you can't justify this being some kind of swing structure. That is
If this came,
definitely internal.
if this came down in here and then came back up to here, I would take that. This is the exact example we were talking about earlier. This is the same chart, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So now that we've broken the low, is this a strong level or is this a strong level?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it doesn't even mean it's gonna fucking hold. It just means that if we were gonna play this short, these are the levels we're gonna look to take, right? What's this? This is all generated liquidity, right? This is a smart money
For sure. Yeah.
right? This is a
Yeah.
sweep. This is a smart money trap. Why doesn't this hold?
that-
Blah, blah. And then what's going to happen? We're going to tap into here. We're going to get the pullback. They're going to go long. They're going to get fucking crushed.
Yeah, this is great because I can just see like how I didn't think I was forcing trades. I thought it, but I have taken a lot of these.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Awesome.
this is literally just liquidity for the higher POI, right?
Yes.
That's all it
Great.
is.
Thanks.
Okay, buddy. So really, at this point, with all this, like these are not great levels. You can look, okay, you like don't discredit them. Don't think that you can't look for them. But the bottom line is don't force the fucking trades around these levels. Okay. This is nice and sitting right above all of this liquidity. So this may end up, depending on how it builds, it might hold. And then furthermore, we have this one up here. So if you took one loss here, and then you hit a banger here, there's your 3 trades for the day. Yeah, that's it, man. Don't fucking stress out. Don't be sitting here fucking taking don't even be on the 5 second. If the 1 minute can't align for you and you're taking 5 second trades off of this shit, which we can't do anyways, but if you're on the 5 second, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay. The 5 second is a lethal fucking tool when opportunity presents to actually use it. If you just want to fucking take trades for the sake of taking trades, I've said it once and I'll say it again. You belong in a casino. You don't belong on the charts. Get away from that shit, man. Is this a logical area for the market to fucking break this low? If you think so, oh man, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get really badly hurt. Used to be 2 L a day and shut it down, but had to up my loss limit to accommodate the new style. When the trades are so far apart, such large moves, I can justify taking more L's. I don't know if anybody joined my live the other day. One of the most common questions I get is, what's your win rate? And I always laugh because sometimes I'll have a 70% strike rate on a week and I'll make like 2-3 G's. And then other times I'll have sub 30%, but I'll hit a 100R banger on getting into those fucking moves. And 30% doesn't mean I've lost 3 out of 10 trades. It means that I took 2 losses to get into the third one that got me 100R and I made fucking 80 grand. So don't fucking stress out about win rate. It does not define how good of a trader you are. You trade your setups. You want to get involved in the higher time frame opportunities. And that's why this whole strategy revolves around that. Don't be scared to take a couple L's. It does not, but don't be taking L's here. Don't be taking L's here. Don't be taking L's here. Take an L here, take an L here, take an L here, and then play the extreme. That's it. But you shouldn't be taking L's here. You should be waiting to see how order flow aligns in here and whether or not we have a level of liquidity to take into the PO1. Like If you follow all your fucking rules, it's really hard to take a fucking loss. To be honest with you, it's really fucking tough. Don't be scared to take a loss on a winning trade idea. That's right. Eric knows. Eric's been with me for fucking time at this point. Dave knows. Who else is in here? Fucking Johnny knows. If the entry doesn't present, oh fucking well. If it runs 100R without you meeting criteria, oh fucking well. Too bad. It's all good. That's right. You're here now, man. That's the important part. Okay, my alerts are set. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm not going to sit here and watch paint dry. Unfortunately, this could take till next week to fucking set up, depending on how this sort of dissipates here. Does everybody understand how we've set up? Actually, the better question is, did you guys all set your alerts the way that we did? If you haven't, make sure that you do. What's the first thing you should be doing as soon as this call is done? Your alerts are set. What's the first thing you should do? It's not a trick question. I want to see if somebody gets it right. There we go. Walk the fuck away. Walk the fuck away. It is Friday. I don't know what it looks like outside for you guys, but if it's beautiful outside, get the fuck outside. Go enjoy your goddamn day. Let your alerts get triggered and see you later. This is actually living as a trader. You don't need to fucking go and monitor the 1 minute goddamn chart just because we've hit a 15-minute intern. Like, dude, get the fuck away from this shit. Go enjoy yourself. When they get triggered, they get triggered. If they don't, then so fucking what? Come back on Monday with a better attitude. Floodlights on the car. Cool. Any questions to wrap this up? Where's my guy Lucas? I haven't heard from him all session. Is he here? I don't even know if he's in here. He's not. Unreal. Cool. Yeah, where's Mike? Yeah. Hey, there's Mike. Holy shit, man. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, hell. No questions lately. Is that a good or a bad thing, Mike?
Dude, it's been good, man. Listen, just been collecting data, focusing on the process, and it's been making sense though, dude. It's been making sense.
Amazing. Good man. Cool. How's everybody doing, by the way? You guys living it now? Starting to feel better about your system? Drop a 1. Cool. Anybody having a hard time still? It's okay if you are. Just want to know. Give you some special treatment. We'll send you over for a one-on-one with Dana. Kaz, shoot me a message. Okay, don't hesitate. Literally don't need to hesitate. Shoot me a message. Let's jump on a call. Nick, shoot me a message. Let's jump on a call. Man, drop the 2s. It's not a big deal. Nobody's here. Nobody gives a fuck. Silvano, drop me a message. Let's get on a call. Okay. There's growing pains involved with adopting any new strategy. Guys, I'm not fucking kidding when I say drop me a message. I will literally go on a call with you for 2 hours. It doesn't cost anything. Ask anybody in here. I don't care. It's not a big deal. Let's make sure that you guys are getting there. Johnny, Afonso, Max, all these, like, men, I will go on these calls. Get involved. Don't just sit there at the back of the classroom. You know what I mean? Fucking throwing your shoulders. Ooh, I don't. Shoot me a message. That's all you can do. If you want to get better, let's get these things rectified. There we go. Bing. I should hear 4 more right now. Shoot me a message. Let's go. Okay, guys, listen, have a good trade day. Alerts are set. Don't look for anything unless your alerts are set. Okay, guys? Have a good weekend. I will see you guys. Oh, yeah, we do have we'll have our meeting today at 12. So yeah, I'll see you guys at 12 to build the case study. And we'll actually, you know what? How many people we got here right now? 32. You guys cool to build a quick case study right now, and then we can take the rest of the day to kind of enjoy whatever it is we want to do. Drop a 1 if that's cool, a 2 if you're not into it. Okay, cool. We'll take 15, 20 minutes, build a case study around price from, I mean, these are all fucking case studies. That's all we really do. God damn, man. Okay, let's do it. I want to break down EU from yesterday is what I want to do. I've got everything already set up. It's probably only going to take like 10 minutes, to be honest with you. So let's do that. Is everybody okay with that? Just like, I want to make sure that everybody, like, you see all the ones. Is there anybody who like doesn't want to do that? Fuck all of you guys. Cool. Let's get into this. Okay. So I'm pissed. You know, full disclosure, I'm really, really pissed off that I left the charts yesterday. It happens. News days, you know, you're like, nothing's gonna frame up. I don't know. I don't really know. And you know, here it is. Here it is. Look at this. I literally built the case study already. So goddamn pissed off about it. Yeah, but it's okay. Here's the thing. You're gonna get 100R moves that happen without you. We did get criteria that got met. I'm gonna show you what happened. I'm sure most of you probably already looked at it and went, oh, well, fuck me, right? So let's just talk about it. So right now, 15-minute swing structure sitting here, right? Swing, swing. Technically, we would be counter order flow. We did not have we didn't have a 1-minute refinement. That was the only real thing. But how specific this area was after the liquidity grab, you know, let's make it make sense so that we can. I'm still working on this stupid modeling system here to be able to, you know, kind of put it in a flow chart, because this is kind of like that 4-hour down to 1-minute one that I didn't get it. Yeah, who got into the sell? Anybody? Yeah, 15-minute didn't close above. That's another good reason. But yeah, let's just jump into this super quick, build this case study out so everybody knows the higher time frame, what was happening here. Obviously, we had this super refined little zone above liquidity, right? Boom, sweep in, beautiful textbook goddamn play, textbook news play. Okay, let's go down to so 15, you can see the reaction, boom, pinpoint. Let's go down into the 1-minute. Okay, so we hit it. Let's go over here and see if there's any kind of refinement. I can't remember if there was. I don't think there is. Right. Buy to sell. Oh, you might have got a 2-minute actually. Yes, you did. Yeah, so we had a refined zone. Does come from a very small level of a sweep, but yeah, amazing, cool. So we can justify it. So what do we need to see here? Let's not even look. If we are counter order flow, but pro structure, what do we call this? Pro trend, counter order flow, we have a snipe zone. Boom. This is what we need to see at this level. Looking at his paper. I got Dave's case study printed beside me right now, and I'm just reading it. Dave's the real goat. He's actually the guy behind Fractal Markets. I'm just the talker. Any chance you want to drop a cut and paste of your sorted rule bubbles? They're already in the, actually, if you go over to the dark mode, I'll put them in the light mode is what I'll do. So go check that right after. Okay, cool. I'll make a new one. I'll make a new one, guys. My bad. Yeah, they're in light mode. Anyways, let's get into this. So 1-minute refined POI, 1-minute sweep, chalk and flip. Okay, so inducement before POI, right? Beautiful. Absolutely fucking, this is exactly what we want right here. You see this? Boom. Inducement. Okay, bang on. Now, two different ways we could have done this. We can just paste the text into the Discord. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm gonna redo the light drawing anyways, and I need to update the new drawing tools and stuff. So I'll put that out right after this call. Okay, so look at this. Inducement right before POI, right? We get the 1 minute chalk right here. Boom. See that small liquidation of the high? Boom, induce. Step one, POI gets swept into, right? Bang, bang. Okay, what do we got here? So a lot of people want to look at this as the chalk. That's fine. That's cool. It's up to you. I want to see if this is the lowest point that puts us into the highest point. This is a 1 minute swing, correct? Yeah. So wouldn't it make more sense to see that give out? Because if we react to this demand and you're taking trades off of here, you're hoping that this demand doesn't take this out. We need to see something break. Okay. So let's go down like this. We don't even need to go on to the seconds, because if you look at this, what caused the M1 chalk? Set a limit on the extreme and play the decisional. Okay. So this becomes a little bit clearer on the 30-second. I'm just going to grab this guy like this, and let's go on to a 30-second. Okay. Look at all these nice drawings. So what do we got here? Change of character, liquidation of the high. We have first demand failure, second demand failure. This area comes from an area that takes liquidity, valid flip. What do we got here? We got liquidity to take from the market. We got liquidity to target. We got liquidity to target. We got expectational order flow targets aligned with higher time frame intention. So the two different ways that you could have got involved with this, actually there's probably several, but you could have looked at the 50% of this overall range, okay, just to get your stop loss size down. Okay, boom. And I believe this is a 3 pip. The other option is you could have looked at this and you could have got involved at the entry point right here, which would have given you a little bit of a wider stop, but nonetheless, still a great trade, okay? The other option would have been to go down onto your 5-second. Okay, you get the push in. Anybody see what we could have done here? There's a couple different options here. Sell stop, where would you put it? I like this one. I like Matty G. Yeah. So could have got involved. So I always put my sell stop limit like sitting like this, and then I'll click and drag it to where it makes sense. Dave, what's the other option? Is Dave still here? Yeah. What's the other option from your case study? After the first bearish candle, right? Bearish piercing, bearish engulfing, whatever you want to call it. Cover the high. Play the decisional, right? Boom. Shouldn't breach this level. That's the theory, right? We've pierced in, we've mitigated 50%. The only other option at this point is if this comes down and then fails to take out this low, we could sweep into the higher level. Gives you enough time to go to break even, play this, drop down like a bag of bricks, more liquidity produced. How's that? You guys with me? Beautiful setup. Really, a little bit bigger stop loss size, but fucking hell, man. What a fucking beautiful setup this was. These are the ones you literally post on your goddamn wall and frame the goddamn trade. This is just such a beautiful setup that happened. And yeah, I mean, if you would have got involved something like this, let's just go look with Dave's method. So it's a 102R trade. Now, you know what the cool part about this trade is? Where would your first partial be here? Here, let me just zoom in before we start marking up. Where would your first partial be? Okay, So first partial is right there. That is 144 pip first partial. Do you know what I mean? When you wait for the higher time frame to do its work, you don't need to fucking partial. You don't fucking need to do it. Why? Because you already know what the expectation is in terms of order flow. Like, this is the move we've literally been talking about for how many weeks now? How long have we been talking about this move to happen? Since right about here. 15 days we've been waiting for this. Perfect example of you're not going to fucking get it all. It's all good. I didn't get involved either. This would have been, yeah, on my account, probably a $200,000 trade. Yeah. So it is what it is. What do? Get them next week. Most of us missed it because of news, and that's okay. That's fine. If you value your mental health over something that's going to, provide a lot of money in one shot, like, I mean, dude, you know what? Don't worry about it. These moves happen all the fucking time. There's always better trades, man. Yeah, pretty soon we're going to open a funding fair. There's always the next move. And now we're starting to look at a few different pairs. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking fantastic. Really, really looking forward to diversifying a little bit more and just keeping aligned with higher time frame intention. Man, we're going to get after these things. We're going to get after these higher time frame moves. Yeah, we're going to be untouchable. This whole community is going to be untouchable in terms of our. That's the goal. We want to diversify, but keep the same entry model across all pairs. You're still expecting to react and head higher to mitigate something higher on the daily? I don't know. It's impossible to tell right now. We would have to see how things develop here to be able to understand what the next move in the market is. Plenty of 20 or 30 Rs. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Everybody satisfied with this? I already did the case study, but everybody satisfied with how we kind of went through this? Any questions? Cool. Well, listen up. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. If anybody sees somebody floating around in the chat, hey, what's going on? Are we doing a case study session today? And I'm not on the chat for whatever reason. Help us out in the community, please. Just let your fellow traders know. And yeah, man, enjoy your fucking weekend. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. We got lots more coming, lots of stuff in the works right now. I don't want to dangle the carrot in front of your nose, but Dave, Alfonso, the two Alfonsos and myself, we've got just tons of stuff coming out in the next few weeks and months. So hopefully you guys will be around to we're gonna keep the mouth shut. Dave already gave me shit. He said, don't leak anything out. It's the truth. I'm brutal, man. Verbal diarrhea. Okay. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys on Sunday. Take care.